Science jerks. Science jerks. Science jerks. The rate of change in acceleration of science. Science jerks.
Welcome to the Science Jerks. I'm your host, Dave Chacho, and with me is your other host, Robert Chen.
Hi.
And we're back for another episode with Gina Ippolito.
Hello again.
Welcome back.
Yay.
Did anything exciting since the last episode?
I talked a lot about Star Wars things.
Huh.
And I drank
What
some
sorts
water.
of Star Wars things?
How many people you can stuff inside a Jabba costume.
Wow, three days, and that's all you
How
managed
many
to
people
do with
can
your
you stuff in it?
I have low
Or-
expectations for my life, you guys. I have very low life expectations.
I wonder what the minimum amount of people needed to stuff into a good Jabba costume.
You're going to
would
need
be.
at least two in there to work the tail, to work the
Yeah,
mouth.
a few.
No, you get remote controls for like the mouth and stuff and the eyeballs, and you just have one person up front and one person in the back.
Yeah.
You could just do your own arms and face, and then just like one leg for the tail.
Maybe. It depends on how dexterous you are. I bet you would cramp up, though. You need to eat a bunch of bananas before going into that.
I think that's
the key
good
to
rule of
a
thumb.
good Jabba costume.
Or to any puppeteering
Eating
endeavor, really.
bananas.
Eat a lot of
Basically,
bananas.
eat a banana and you're fine.
These puppeteers are keeping us in business.
So, Gina, how did you do in science back in school?
Not well. Not well at all. I feel like I was probably a C student in science.
Did you have a favorite or least favorite?
What, you mean branch, like physics?
Type of science?
I mean, I was thinking of like, I didn't do well in 7th grade science. I don't know.
Was that just like a general...
Yeah, it was just general science. It was probably one of my worst subjects, actually.
Oh, no.
But I mean, now I find it interesting, but at the time it just seemed not,
Well, that's a thing that happens, like history. I was never into history in school, but then I got out. I'm like, oh, man, this is amazing.
Yeah, there are actually a lot of boring subjects in
stuff
school if you
happened.
think about it, because I also did not like math.
And now you're
no
huge.
math.
You're
is
just
still,
like,
math
oh,
is
I'm
still
fucking doing. I'm going down the
not
street just
super into
doing
math.
algebra.
Math is still not interesting, even slightly. Even slightly.
Oh, motherfucker, I go down and have me a fucking trigonometry party Thursday nights, right out down here at El Cid, just like
Doing equations all night long.
doing lines, doing functions.
Integers, PEMDAS. That's the thing I remember, you guys. Hey. I liked, in high school, I remember doing the things where, you would learn about different weird, not birth defects, but like a widow's peak.
Wait a minute.
You're really good at birth defect
you-
class.
Were you raised at a carnival? Or did you just
mean
walk
genetics?
over to the...
You would like find
Genetics.
out. Yeah, you would like find out why. Like you would look around
Your
the
uncle
class.
has a
and-
widow's peak.
and
Yeah,
see who
exactly.
has-
And see who
'cause
has weird.
You're making like little crab gestures with your hands.
Well, they were always like, "Oh, who can do this with their fingers?" That's
And
a.
who has mutant tongues that can do
Yes.
weird
Who is
things?
a lobster boy?
There was always one. Like that's
Just nobody noticed Lobster Boy until that day in class. Yeah, you're right.
He
As
is
a matter of
very
fact, he does have claws for hands.
Good thing we had this science class to discover it.
And his grandfather on his mother's side also had claws for hands.
And he's got a widow's peak. He can't win.
That's what he's most embarrassed of. Because that is just
I have to
disgusting.
always wear a hat.
One of us.
Gooba gabba, gooba gabba.
Let's do some science.
It just got creepy up in here.
Micromachinology.
Freescale semiconductors making computer chips. How small? How's about 1.9 by 2 millimeters small, huh? How's about that?
It's not the size that counts of the chip. It's how the chip works.
How's it's the motion,
of the process.
Electron. No. Well, the awesome thing is that it is small.
Super small.
It's extra small.
Yes.
And that's a good thing.
Just like in all things, right, guys?
Here's the thing.
Smaller
It's
is
not
better,
intended to
right?
satisfy a woman.
Oh, I see.
It's in fact what would you use something like that for? It's a full on computer chip with the RAM, the processor, the input output. It's basically a super teeny tiny computer that you can swallow. And
It's smaller than a Tylenol capsule.
Oh.
And I don't know what they're going to use these
Well,
for,
like,
but that's
I mean-
pretty cool. I think
it's for to like search for tumors and search for blood clots and
something they talked about was getting computers into your bloodstream, into your digestive system, and stuff like that.
make sure everything's working all right.
And you make it smaller and smaller to the point where, it can travel around, and eventually you can not do Fantastic
Shrinking
Voyage.
Rick
Yeah.
Moranis and setting sail in your bloodstream.
I love that movie.
Yeah,
Wait, was Rick
Dennis
Moranis
Quaid.
in the...
No, you're thinking of Honey, I Shrunk Your Kids.
You're thinking. Okay, yeah, you're thinking.
Dennis Quaid went in...
No,
into
you're
Martin Short.
confusing-
Into
into Martin Short, and that was Inner Space.
And Martin
Yes.
Short was with Rick Moranis in
Second City.
something.
CTV.
They had to be in some movie together,
Degrees of
right?
Martin Short. Wait, Martin Short and Rick Moranis? Yeah, I feel like something.
Parenthood?
Something.
Parent Trap.
Oh yeah, I think they were.
I don't know if Martin Short was in Parenthood.
Damn it, Martin Short was in Ghostbusters, right?
Rick Moranis was in
Keep
Ghostbusters.
naming Rick Moranis movies and assume Martin Short is in them.
Honey, I Shrunk the...
Which one of them was in Three Amigos?
They were
Comedic
pretty much they were pretty much up for the same roles. Is the thing. Well, yeah, you put a teeny tiny computer into your body, but it's not so much as finding things, but you can monitor health, release drugs, that sort of thing. You can.
Here's a question. Do they have Bluetooth or something on them? Like, how do you get
calls
the info?
No, that is the thing you can do. You can have a receiver on there that you put your palm up to an ATM machine or whatever, and it says, "Oh, that's you," and gives you money.
Not to me. Can I get a chip that says I'm someone else so it will give me money?
I'm on board with this. I feel like people are freaked out by this kind of thing, but
Man,
I'm down.
ever since I first read Mona Lisa Overdrive, I'm like, yeah, I want a fucking jack in my head, so that even before there was an internet, I knew that I wanted
Wait, who's
internet
that?
jacked into my.
Who's Mona Lisa Overdrive?
William Gibson?
Okay. I've not read that one.
I haven't either.
It was Neuromancer, Mona Lisa Overdrive, and
The Necronomicon.
Yep. Raises the dead.
don't
Do not read aloud from it, whatever you do.
Becomes
Not-
Death
Don't
Incarnate.
read aloud from it.
That was William Gibson, right? Death Incarnate?
Yeah, this kind of thing freaks people out a lot because they're just afraid that we're getting too informational.
But
too informational.
these are what
Yeah,
you can
there's
use for the telepathy we talked about last episode.
Yeah,
They're
do
gonna
you
be
want
so
fucking
wired.
a huge wire sticking out of your head, or do you just want a teeny tiny computer inside of your body taking care of the same thing?
I don't.
guys.
Not just one. Hundreds of these little chips communicating by Bluetooth and sending you information.
And you could get a handshake and telepathize and telepathize.
you can telepathically shake hands
Match
with
it up.
someone.
Just like when you bump your phone and you
Oh.
send exactly like that.
But then,
You could fist bump, and I don't
And
know.
it's just like you're having sex.
and it would transmit the information. Hi, nice to meet you.
there
when
would
you
be
fist
no,
rather than talking.
in the future. There is no need for talking or sex.
Yay! Pressure's off.
Oh, thank God. Now I can get back to jerking off. Yeah, it's not intended to supplant anything, but
How do they stop it from leaving your body? Is what I want to know. Like, it seems like if it's that small,
If it wants
Well, you
to
could-
leave, it's going to leave.
Just don't try and stop it.
I changed my mind. I think this is creepy.
Why?
Because who knows, like where is this information going, essentially?
Do you find smartphones to be creepy?
Into the Uber Google.
Same thing.
Yeah, but that's the thing
Yeah.
is, like, I feel like if people didn't want to go through airport scanners because they didn't want their body's information in the hands of people that they didn't know, this is sort of the same thing.
You realize that somebody could break
Yeah,
into your
it
doctor's
is-
office and take your x-rays?
It's a little troubling because you can be
Yeah.
tracked. Like, even now, you can throw your phone away if you really need to stop being tracked by the man,
oh, that man.
Eschaton, or whatever the fucking
Do you know who does that? Crazy people
Yeah,
do
but
that.
the thing is,
Yeah.
at some point it is going to become creepy. At some point, it is like, I don't know if I want people to know.
Oh, no.
I've
frogs in warm water.
sort of tried
It's nice and
to
warm.
give up on any sort of thoughts of privacy from here on out.
Yeah,
because
I guess that's
think
what you
it's
have to
kind
do.
of out the window at this point, and will be even more so in the future. But I do kind of. There's still that like fascist government could take over this
Well, the
kind
trick
of
is-
information and
is
start picking people off.
Yeah.
All information becomes accessible, and not just to the people in power, but to everyone. When everybody has the
Right.
same level of access, then
Which is why we
not
need
really an
to
issue.
keep open we need to keep democratic the information streams.
That's why we need to free Bradley Manning. Yeah, got a little political on you, didn't I? WikiLeaks, like a mofo.
Ricky Lake?
Yes,
Yes.
Ricky Lake will save us all.
Will someone
man.
finally free Ricky Lake?
Has anybody seen
been
WikiLeaks
too long.
and Ricky Lake in the same room?
What? We just cracked it.
Oh shit!
Temporal technology.
All right. I don't even have my 3D printer yet.
God.
And they're coming out with 4D.
What?
I am behind an entire D in printing right now, and I'm not very happy about it.
Does this mean I can go back in time and have sex with my mother to make
You
me?
can print yourself out a better
That's what I-
pass.
that's what I-
Yes, that's exactly what
That's
this
the plot
is.
to Back to the Future, right? I haven't watched it in a while, but I feel like
There's some
Yeah.
there's some incestuous stuff happening.
He goes to Doc's house, and he plugs in his 4D printer, and he prints out Punch Biff.
Is it a printer for all the senses? Does it print out smelly paper based on what you printed out?
No, but it prints out it prints out 3D objects, and by some crazy algorithms and materials that have different bendability or whatever, they print out these 3D shapes that after being printed distort themselves into a different shape. Like, so they print out this long strand of plastic,
Okay.
and they somehow program it using just the properties
What?
of the design
So these printers
to
must be humongous.
turn into a cube, to like shape itself into a cube after it's printed.
what?
There's a video. We're watching a video off Wired right now, and this is just insane that they somehow designed a piece of plastic that, after being printed in a 3D printer, assembles itself
4D
into
printer.
a cube.
So there's not a chip in there telling it you turn 45 degrees, you go 25 degrees.
Yeah.
It's just spitting out plastic that is like sort of contorted in such a way that it moves itself into place.
Yes, I think so.
Well, it sounds crazy.
I'm not exactly sure how they're doing this, but they're using the properties of the plastic itself, I think, to...
So the idea is you're going to print out something, like you're going to get something in the mail that's like a flat package. You open it up, it's going to and then be a couch.
Oh, yes, mail order flat couch that turns into a real couch.
This is really where I want my technology to go, because I don't want to have to move another goddamn couch up these stairs.
I
thought
don't
you were
know.
just going to say I don't want to have to move at all, so I won't have to go to
Yeah.
the store. I'll just order
Right.
everything.
I can throw out my current couch and bring one of these up.
Yeah, it'll just print out a
couch.
You should just buy an
long-
inflatable couch from Spencer's and
Like
blow it up like a
that,
college
but only
student.
a real couch.
You should print out
Just
an
like
inflatable
that.
couch that then inflates itself.
Yes.
I don't know what is going on actually in this thing. And I was just rereading the article while you were talking because I was like, what did I miss? I don't know how this is working. It doesn't... I don't think it says in this article.
Oh, no, it
unless
says
I'm
right down
like,
there on the left, this works by magic.
Self-Assembly
Magic.
Lab,
There's a little
MIT.
quotes like
Self-assembly
magic.
lab.
I believe it's like, you know, if you get two different materials together and you expose them to a different temperature, that one will bend more than the other and you can make an angle, right?
Right.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
So if you very intelligently print different layers of different materials that have different temperature sensitivities or whatever, then you can make them shape into predetermined shapes after they're printed and dry out, and then they go... and they go into this complex shape. I
'Cause
think that's what's happening, although I'm not sure. I might just be
As it
making
is
that
now,
up.
the 3D printers are like about the size of like a normal printer.
Yeah.
And you can have small things, or you can print out pieces that you can then hook together and make into a larger thing. But, you know, it's kind of hard to make like a large thing. Perhaps the idea of this is that you can then, like I said, actually print out like something sort of flattish or whatever, and then
Yes.
just...
Yeah, or some like really complicated shape that it's hard to print in 3 dimensions. that you
20-sided
just,
dice.
Yeah.
Unending 20-sided dice for so much D&D that
You really will never leave. You'll get your mail order.
Unending,
You'll
like
get your,
a fourth dimensional dice that
Like
just
every time I roll a die, like no,
It goes
I've already
into-
used this once. I'm throwing it away, and I'm 3D printing another one. I'm 4D printing it.
But it's the
just
same
a little
one.
final
it's
things
the same one. It just goes into a black hole. And then comes
Yeah, no, I
back out
recycle
of
this
it.
just in time.
I throw it back in, it melts it down, and then it spits out
It's
a new
programmed when it hits the bottom of a waste can to go forward 5 minutes and pop out of your 4D
It's
printer.
actually an incredible waste of resources.
Bacterial vaccinology.
one. Okay, so bacteria makes you sick, yes? And we only have
Some.
immune systems to deal with that.
Some makes you not
What
sick.
happens when a bacteria gets sick?
Oh man.
There are bacterium that actually have their own immune systems.
Ah, those jerks got what they deserved.
Wait, who? What?
The bacteria that gets bacteria. They got what they deserved.
But they have ways of fighting it off.
But this is a virus, not a bacteria, right?
Well, no, what we have here is the bacteria in question is Vibrio cholera, the bacteria that causes
Cholera.
Cholera.
And there is a virus that attacks it. It's a bacteriophage. And the interesting thing is that bacteria have what they call
Maybe
CRISPRs.
we should team up with the bacteria against the virus.
Oh man,
Fuck viruses,
that bacteria is a
man.
hard-boiled cop, but you're a wise-cracking rookie.
Wait, the person is the wisecracking rookie, and the bacteria
The
is
bacteria is the seasoned veteran cop.
it's a fungus. I'm getting too mold for this shit.
Oh boy.
Buzzing.
We
Okay,
don't
so
really have to go on, do we? After that,
that's good. Let's move on.
We should retire from life, actually.
So the bacteria has a system where basically a virus attacks it, and like the human immune system, it takes a piece of the virus and goes, okay, now I know how to deal with this once it's fought it off, and develops its own library of viruses in the same way we do. Like a vaccination
Right.
is a weakened form of the virus, and then your body
bacteria
learns how to-
actually vaccinate themselves against viruses.
Yes, well, in the same way that we do.
Do they use mercury?
Yes. There's a whole
'Cause
bunch
that's
of
very
autistic
controversial.
bacteria out there.
In the bacteria community, there's a controversy going on about if they should be using mercury or not.
And the weird thing is that there's a little bacteria, Jenny McCarthy, and she is really outspoken, but she's just so cute. She is a doll.
Oh, you keep speaking your mind, bacteria, Jenny McCarthy. We love hearing it.
But then here's the thing. So, the bacteria's got its own immune system, and now they found a virus that actually adapts to that immune system in the same way that sort of adapts to our own. It utilizes that CRISPR system that the bacteria uses to fight off infection by stealing
So these
that same
damn
information.
bacteria are
Making
evolving.
super bugs.
Yeah, they're evolving new crazy super viruses that
Yeah.
are going to come after us now. And it wasn't our fault, virus. This is not our fight. It's between you and the bacteria.
The name of the virus is a bacteriophage. That means it eats bacteria, so it's not that interested in a gigantic human.
I feel like
Well, let's keep it that way.
We're missing a great opportunity here for prize fights between bacteria and viruses. Because
So it's basically like battle bots, only teeny tiny.
Exactly. Put that crap under a microscope, project it onto a large screen in an arena.
I don't know. I had a problem with bum fights, and I kind of have a problem with bacteriophage battles. Just seems
Like we're exploiting them.
Exploitive.
Well, I
Exploitative.
mean, we'll give them a cut of whatever ticket sales.
I wouldn't buy a pay-per-view, but, if it was on Showtime.
we'll give you all the bacteria you can eat. We just do this one fight. I said I was done fighting. There's just one more. You gotta do it.
Honestly, if I had to choose, I would rather Michael Vick got a bunch of bacteria to fight than a dog. 'Cause
Yeah.
dog's sad, but a bacteria,
Yeah.
they're pretty cool, but honestly, we could stand to lose a few.
It's so much less exciting, though. Like 15 guys with their shirts off throwing dollars at two bacteria in the ring.
Why do they have to have their shirts off?
Yeah, this is just Dave's fantasy.
That's how I
Dave's
picture
fantasy fight world.
like the dog fights are.
That's how I just
Guys,
picture things.
Look, it's just a group of guys oiling each other up without their shirts on.
Okay, a couple of them are in wife beaters. Most of them are in cutoffs.
One of them is really drunk, like the kind of drunk where he won't remember whatever happens to him.
They're all leaning in real close. Like, maybe we're going to kiss, but I don't know. There's a fight going on right now.
Okay, here's the thing. And here's actually the real reason why this story appealed so much to me is that the bacteriophage in question is known as the ICP-1.
Oh.
The Insane Clown Posse has its own virus.
I mean, I could have known. I would have.
And they're the most virulent asshole
We ought to
viruses.
send them fools in after them.
I would say that it's not the first virus associated with ICP.
Not the first.
Probably a lot of them that usually the kind that come from sharing 40s, tattooing one another with dirty needles.
Pretty much
There's nothing wrong with
sharing any vicinity with the Insane Clown Posse or any of its followers is bound to give you some sort of virus.
Tiny little juggalo viruses.
Oh,
virus,
damn,
y'all.
we should send in some little juggalos, bitch.
It's time for a quiz.
It's time for a quiz.
I have ice in my mouth. I wasn't ready. You do it again, Gina, you do it.
It's time for
It's time for a quiz.
Yeah,
I got it
that's
right.
amazing.
I got it right.
That's way better. You should always come in and do that.
We are once again without our quizmaster or quizmasterist, so we're going to the magic blue box.
To the box.
Which is
The TARDIS?
sadly not a TARDIS. Not even
It
a
is
little bit.
kind of bigger in the inside.
It does travel us back to the 80s, where we will be getting science questions, and we'll be answering them as a collective pod entity, or as a network of brains.
As an intelligence, the
It's
intelligence.
like 1,000 monkeys hooked up to 1,000 slot cars.
Question 1. What company is the world's largest user of silver?
Ooh, well, this was in the 80s. Tiffany's?
I bet it was those Ronald Reagan commemorative coin people.
No, it's got to be some computer thing or
What else do
silver
we use silver
or
for?
pipes. Pipes? Do they use silver in pipes?
Isn't silver used for like tonics?
If this is 1842.
It's used for killing werewolves, so some sort of werewolf weapon.
Demon bullets.
Is it Dr. Van Helsing is the answer?
Maybe
Was it
like,
like-
teeth fillings.
Oh,
Is that
that's a good point. That's a good point.
I mean,
I was
silver's
thinking
kinda
hats, but that's
toxic.
mercury.
Right.
Yeah.
Quicksilver.
Quicksilver, the X-Man.
Yep, yes, sure.
Sun 2 Magneto. You guys,
Pietro di-
pretty nerdy over here.
That's some good deep pulls.
I don't know. I feel like it's going to be something larger than that. Like silver coin seems like it would be. So Franklin Mint, isn't that like?
Is
You know,
that
I'm
a company?
I'm at the point now where I would say, they're like a
They're an independent.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem right, but I can't think of anything would be better.
I mean, I would think like, or probably something that we're not thinking of, like an automobile company or something weird.
It's probably gonna be something like
Or like
use
pipes
seeding
or-
clouds for rain or something like that.
Or dudes who got one earring were really big at the end of the 80s.
So if there's a company that only makes
What
one
the
earring,
The one company,
company
that
did that?
supplies dudes with one earring.
Sure, Franklin Mint. Let's
Yeah.
do
Yeah, I have
something.
no idea. That's my best
answer
guess.
is Kodak. There
Kodak.
we
I
go.
knew it would be something we weren't thinking
Silver
of.
on the
Yeah,
back
yeah.
of film.
I knew it would be something
Yep.
we weren't thinking of.
I don't know why they didn't just use digital.
I don't know why they didn't just use their
so much
iPhones,
better.
you guys.
Yeah.
Should just Instagram that crap.
Question 2. What disease did August von Wassermann develop a specific test for in 1906?
Wasserman, German name.
What were Germans particularly
Wait a
susceptible
second.
to?
I think it means waterman.
So, hydrocephalitis?
Well,
Here's
what?
the test. Is the kid's head really big? Okay, he's got
Oh,
it.
jeez. Wait, was it what? So he developed a vaccine?
No, a specific test.
Oh, so it could be something that that's still not cured.
It's probably something that
What was big in the early
apparent
at the turn of the 20th century? It was like cholera was around, and
I mean, polio was a little bit later.
What do you need to test
Yeah.
for? Is it something like
I bet it was cholera.
like a
That
genetic
seems right
test?
because that was like an epidemic in the early 20th century.
Just
Yeah, but
because
do you
you're
need
reading
a
a lot of
test?
Gabriel Garcia Marquez does not mean that every
That book
answer
was
to everything
great, by
is
the way.
cholera related.
I just
It's
finished
probably
it this
something
week.
random like Lyme disease or something.
I feel like this is something that would be pretty obvious because what do you need a test for?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, my initial impression would be cholera. That would have been big back then. But you know if you have cholera, so
Yeah.
you don't need a test for it.
like something like
No, not
syphilis
necessarily,
or-
because what didn't it seem like a flu for the first day or
tuberculosis.
TB?
Oh, yeah.
tuberculosis.
That's a good
gotta
idea.
be. It's got to be TB.
Yeah.
I say that.
two? Okay, I like that.
Yeah,
Me too.
I like it.
The answer is syphilis.
It was syphilis.
it.
You guys, it's always
Damn it.
syphilis. When in doubt, go
I
with
said
syphilis.
it. It wasn't.
Really? Do you think it is syphilis? I've been afraid to check. All right, let's keep it
Question
going.
3.
Question 8. 3. 8.
What fruit's pit does latril come from?
How do you spell that? What is it?
Laetrile.
When
That's a thing I have never heard of.
okay, well, I know that
Lychee.
apricot pits have cyanide in them, so maybe
and
latril
apple
is
seeds
a
Are
different.
poisonous.
Yeah.
And so are almonds.
I want to say peach for some reason, but I don't have any.
yeah.
Okay, how many pits do we have
A
access
lot.
to?
Plum.
Cherries.
Avocado, cherry, plum, peach.
I bet it's apricot because
Apricot.
I bet it has something to do with cyanide.
I'm okay with apricot.
Fine, do
Let
it.
it, let,
do
it be
whatever you
known,
want.
let it be
I
known
don't
that Dave
care.
wants peach. Let it be known that Dave wants
I want
peach.
to say peach for some reason, but I don't
The
know why.
apricot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
Over
it.
here.
Yeah, we are 1 for 3. These guys, we're killing it. We're killing it.
I got that correct by going with your answer.
Yep.
By being smart enough to know not to use mine.
To defer to the lady of the group.
Question 4. What is the wood anniversary?
Oh yeah. Okay,
Like there's
so
silver, there's paper, there's
yeah, paper is like
gold.
What's this doing in science and nature?
the science of anniversaries, dude.
the science of love. Chan.
Anniversariology.
I'm gonna bet. So wood is not that impressive. So I'm gonna bet it's like 5 years or something.
Paper, diamond.
yeah, paper is like the
gold,
first year,
silver.
but like
wood.
diamonds
Maybe
and gold, those are all
maybe
later
like
on.
5.
I'm gonna say 5.
5. Yeah,
7.
that seems reasonable. Let's go 5. 7.
8,
I think 5.
6.
We're going to go with round numbers. So shut up. The 5th.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
We are 2 for 4. Batting 500.
Yeah.
That means we're 7 for 9.
Good job on deferring to me.
Yeah,
Again.
you're killing it this round. What I mean by you killing it is we haven't contributed at all this round.
Number 5. The
Dun,
final
dun,
question.
dun.
Let's end this respectably, please. What are the Haversian canals?
Oh no.
Mars?
Haversian.
I have a aversion to this question.
Oh,
Nice.
my goodness.
Nailed it.
Oh, so glad you're
And I'm out.
leaving
And
us.
I'm out.
We're taking the point for that one. Put it back in the box. I'm going to say the Canals of Mars, right?
That makes sense, yeah. 'Cause
Yeah,
what else?
I guess
Wait
that
a
makes
minute.
sense.
The things that look like canals on Mars that are actually
Did they know about those in the
Possibly.
80s?
Yes.
80s. They
No
discovered
help,
them.
no
they
help.
discovered them in the 18. I feel like 80s, maybe.
I'm going to
Using
look it up
telescopes.
after we...
The answer is in the bones.
Oh.
In
What?
the bones.
Mars, the bones, it's all the same thing.
We can have our fact bot correct us on this.
Haversian canals are a series of tubes. Hello, this is FactBot. A series of tubes, not a truck. A series of tubes around narrow channels formed by lamellae. So there.
It all makes sense now.
This is the region of the bone called compact bone. Well,
Well-
maybe in the 80s they thought the canals of Mars were in our bones.
Anyway, we're just going to take that one. That one's on. So we got 7 out of 10, which is not the worst. It's not too bad.
That's pretty well. We had to be taken down a peg after that
After our-
thrilling performance last episode.
It's coming right for us.
It's coming right for Mars. Chacho here with Chan and Gina Ippolito.
Hi.
You
And
are not aware of this, but Dave has a crazy phobia.
no, a legitimate fear
Crazy phobia.
of being crushed from above by, I don't know, possibly the giant meteor that injured 1,000 people
See,
in Russia last week.
the meteor.
The day we talked about it on this podcast, I predicted the Russian meteor. Let me just say, because I put that podcast up at like 2 a.m. and that fucking meteor hit at like 6:30. So
Have you considered the possibility that you willed it into being?
The more you think about it,
if the pictures
stop thinking about it.
pictures
Stop
in my
thinking
head were actually going to become true, we'd be in a lot worse shape than we are.
I thought of the most innocuous thing I could. Stay Puft Marshmallow
What did
Man.
you do, Dave? I imagined in my head a giant comet slamming into Mars at like 56 miles per second or something.
This happened or will happen?
It might happen.
Oh, come on.
And God willing, or whatever force of nature, please let this happen.
Mars.
What are we supposed to tell
about
the
Mars?
Martians? Are we supposed to tell them to take cover or not take cover?
We should tell them they better get an early warning system in place.
Can we send them Bruce Willis to help out?
So
Can
there,
we just send them Bruce Willis?
yeah. In fact, I think we should have him go try to stop this thing.
Yeah.
And fail. So they're saying in October 2014, which is 15-ish maybe months from now, there's a comet traveling at a very high speed heading right towards Mars, and they think it is probably most likely just going to right by. But there's a good chance, there's a better than bad chance that it will smack right into Mars and create a giant explosion and crater, and
That's awesome.
it'll be really fun to watch. Plus, this is the crazy thing. This one dude, a scientist who will remain nameless until I can find his name, Robert Matson, an Australian climate scientist, said that if this happens, it could create a greenhouse effect on Mars and warm it up, so it will be a better place for us to live.
You mean it's only going to be negative 61 degrees instead of negative 64?
Hey, that's going to feel balmy on those summer days on the frozen tundra.
I feel like what is going to happen is it's going to crash into Mars, and then all of the aliens that have been hiding from us for years are going to spill out
Like ants.
Yeah, like ants. Or I was thinking Cadbury
Starship
cream from a Cadbury
Troopers.
cream egg.
Are you under the impression,
Cadbury
Ms.
people?
Ippolito, that Mars is made of chocolate?
I'm pretty
people
sure
are
it
made
has
of
a delicious
nougat of
creamy
some sort?
center. I'm pretty sure the inside of Mars is very delicious.
Oh, that would be awesome. Just sprayed caramel at us.
Caramel showers again, Daddy. Everyone's all sticky all the time.
Is it still caramelling out? Yeah.
Here's a fun thing that I found, because you're afraid of these, rogue rocks or even rogue planets we have found.
Planets, asteroids,
or even
meteors.
rogue stars. There are stars that get flung out of the galaxy.
Yeah.
Just huge-ass suns. just
Giant
flying out of
outcasts.
nowhere.
Ostracized.
They've been tracing a lot of these stars. There's about 40 of them here that they have been tracing, and they think that they can do some good with them because we don't actually know for sure that we're in a spiral galaxy. Every time you see those pictures of the Milky Way and all that, it's a beautiful spiral like that. We can't actually tell because we're in
Can't see
the
that.
Yeah,
galaxy.
right.
And there's a whole bunch of places that are completely covered up with dust that we just cannot see through.
It
But
just looks like a big fat line
basically
from where we
yes.
are.
But
Take that, Milky Way. What are you going to do? Right here?
It's going to crush you
What are
with a
you gonna
meteor.
crush
is
me
what it's going to do.
from above?
Crush you from above.
In some way?
Rogue Star, bitch.
You can put the word rogue in front of anything.
So,
It would be
yeah.
terrifying.
Well, with meteors the size of SUVs are terrifying. This is a fucking star. This is like a flying projectile 1 billion times the size of our sun. Just
No. The stars aren't that big. 1 billion is a lot.
some are.
1 billion is like most of the size of a
Their
galaxy.
stars that big. Granted, we'd see it coming.
Pretty much.
Probably well in advance.
What's that?
The scary thing about the rogue planets is that they're pretty much invisible until you see a big black hole in the sky where you can't see any more stars, and then you're like, oh, well, we have 4 days to live.
We're doomed.
They're using the stars, basically they're tracing them back to figure out like, oh, okay, well that came from this part of the galaxy, so that we know that, there are things here, and they act in, such a way that suggests that there, is this, we're inferring the galaxy based on these rogue stars, which are not going to hit us because they're being flung out of the galaxy, not being flung through it.
I'm not going to hit you. I'm not going to hit you.
God, make the rogue stars stop. Come on.
Rogue stars, stop swallowing my planet.
That's our show.
And that's our show. Thank you very much to our very special and lovely guest, Ms. Gina Ippolito.
Ooh, and lovely.
Oh, kicked it up a notch.
Oh, classy. Keeping it classy.
getting a little
up in
late.
here.
Because if I give it to Dave, he'll be like, and here's our guest. Or here's our person who's sitting at the other microphone.
Dave can't tell the difference between genders.
That was the best impression of me I've ever heard. I appreciate it.
Dave is terrible to guess. I'm courteous and kind.
Oh, wow.
So what are you up to, Gina?
I've got a sketch show with the Mutiny on March 17th, which is also known as St. Patrick's Day.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So you're going to be doing a sketch show for a bunch of drunk
yeah,
people.
hopefully.
Well, there is a bar.
Well, yeah, it's at
attached to the
IO.
show.
So beer for all.
For those who don't know, IO West Theater on Hollywood Boulevard in LA. That took me too long to get out.
It's got a bar though. It's got a bar. So it's St. Patrick's Day. It's at 7:30, and you can stay all night and get super drunk and watch comedy.
So basically, all of your sketches will just be, oh, I farted. So did I.
You're giving too much credit. I'm
look
pretty
at the
sure all the
Irish
sketches
to
will just
you.
be barfing on stage.
Lots of drunk Irish jokes.
Oh man, could you imagine if you did that? All you had to do
Accents.
is just have the sound of somebody vomiting. The entire audience is just going to go off.
Start.
Oh, trust me, I've
vomit
seen
riot.
real vomit sketches on that stage.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to do them
Oh
again.
yeah, I have too.
There's been enough. I call a moratorium on actual vomit sketches at iOS.
Well, what else are we supposed to do?
That is pretty much the end of comedy.
Where else can they find you online?
I am on Twitter at Ep2. You can also follow my all-lady improv group Slave Leia at Slave Leia Improv, or on Facebook.
Wait,
Follow
that's
you
your
on-
Twitter? Slave Leia Improv?
Slave Leia
That's a
Improv.
long Twitter handle.
Actually, I don't know if that's right. It might just be. I think it's Slave Leia Improv. But my personal Twitter is at Ippy2. IPPY 2. The
Oh,
number
every
2.
time you say that, I want to go, Ippy too.
Oh, I just want to go pee-pee. Why?
I had such a sophisticated take, and this fucking guy.
Highbrow versus lowbrow.
Perfect example.
Yippee-ki-yay, mother. You can find us online at sciencejerks.com or thesciencejerks.com, on Twitter
At the Science Jerks.
the Science Jerks, not at Science Jerks. Somebody has that, don't they?
There is some
Those jerks.
Can we murder them
Dick.
and wear their skin? I don't want the Twitter handle anymore. I just want vengeance.
We're coming for you at Science Jerks.
We're on Facebook, and go to our webpage and do the Amazon thing where you click on the link and then you just go to Amazon and do what you would normally do. It doesn't cost you anything, and we get some money, which we
Yay.
will use for alcohol.
You can get
Yay.
anything on that website.
You can buy cat toys.
Human organs.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Used adrenaline glands, like 50 cents.
Used adrenaline glands.
Well,
They're no good anymore. These have been used.
if you want a new one, then those are.
I feel like you would go to
eBay.
eBay for that.
Have you ever downloaded one on your Kindle? That's the stuff.
I
That
don't
doesn't
think
even
you-
make
I don't
sense.
think you
That
understand how
doesn't
that
even make
works.
sense,
I'm not
Dave.
sure you understand
What
how
are
it
you
works.
talking
I've done it.
You can find Dave on Twitter at Dave Chacho.
That is correct. And
CIACCIO.
that's even more correct.
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't expect that
And-
people would know how to spell your name, man.
They're going to fucking learn.
Yeah.
People don't know how to spell my
About
name.
time.
And it's Chan.
If you don't know how to spell that name, then you should probably just blow your brains out.
You should. But
Yes,
no, they
but-
don't.
but
Instead,
I'm not-
they troll online.
But
I
first
legally
tweet-
have to say I'm not advocating that, by the way.
First tweet Robert Chan at 999 RPMs and tell him why he has destroyed your life and your will to live. Is it jokes like pee-pee? Yes. Yes, it is.
Thank you very much, Gina. And
Thank you.
We'll see
Fun
all
times.
of you internet
At the
people
movies.
later.
You are not now invited to the movies with us.
The
by
balcony
way.
is now closed.
Keep plugging
Dave,
along
you're
until
lovely.
it works. A lot of dudes slapping around.
Wait till you leave.